Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a deeper look at life planning and how you guys should approach a base. What is the first step if you take a look at a base? What are the first things you should look at when you're looking at a base, when you're trying to plan? And actually, it's pretty much for every single person different because first off, everyone has their own favorite army. So for example, if I'm looking at the base, I'm saying, okay, I'm seeing a Queen Charge Hawk Rider attack. During another guy's looking at the base and he's saying, okay, he maybe see a P.E.K.K.A Smash attack. The next guy is seeing a Queen Charge Electrodragon attack. I don't know. It always depends on your personal tier list, pretty much of strategies. So for example, if you personally say, okay, I'm really good at P.E.K.K.A Smash, at Electrodragons, Bad Slap, whatever I don't know. So it's always depending on the attacker. For me personally, my tier list is pretty much Queen Charge Hawk Riders, Queen Charge Miners, Queen Charge Lalo, and after that a Warden Charge, kind of Warden Funnel attack. So you should always have like 3 to 5 strategies which you personally think are really good and are really good for yourself. Like you can execute those. So it always depends on the attacker. That's kind of the first thing I want to try to like give you guys on the way. So for me and how I will do this video, I will kind of explain to you how I try to look at a base when I try to do a Queen Charge Hawk Rider attack. And the next step is pretty much that you guys will let me know what you guys want to see the next time, and I try to pretty much explain the next strategy. Like, let me know in the comments below what you want to see, which strategy should I try to do next, and explain how to take a look at a base when you want to do this strategy. Like I said, for me it is Queen Charge Hawk Riders, so let's try to find the best spot to Queen Charge into this base. When I try to find a spot to Queen Charge is pretty much always dependent on the Queen Charge itself. So normally I try to mark the most important defenses, buildings in that way, which is normally always, or it is always, the queen for Queen Charge Hawk Riders. Because if you can't get rid of the enemy queen, it's really tough to actually do a Queen Charge Hawk Rider attack. It's sometimes still possible when you try to work around, but still the queen should be gone. The next thing you should try to take out is the eagle. The eagle is super important as well as the town hall and the king. Those are kind of your most priorities to try to go for when you're doing Queen Charge Hawk Rider attack. I think when you can get at least queen and the eagle or the town hall, it's already okay. But still, those 4 buildings or defenses are normally the most important ones. The next thing you try to look at is the single target defenses, which are doing a lot of damage inside of the base. So the warden and all of the 4 expos. They're super important because if you try to charge into a base and you have too much damage onto your queen and the CC is coming out in a like unlucky moment, I guess, then it's super tricky. So for example, this entry right now I try to mark for you guys is super risky because, well, you charge right into 3 defenses which are doing super much damage to your queen. So it's really hard to actually get inside of the base, like with the ram or whatever. At the same time, the CC will come out and make it even harder to get through all of this damage. So when you take a look at all of those circle and pretty much the priority list of this base, you try to go or get into the middle of your priority points. For me, it would be kind of the point which I right now marked. To get into there, the best thing is kind of the Queen Charge from the 7 o'clock side, because that's the best possible entry to make it actually to the town hall, to the eagle, to the enemy queen, etc. So I can try to get as much value as possible. Meanwhile, when I try to, for example, come from the right side to get into the circle, it's pretty hard because the way is really far. You have to get through a lot of stuff, even though there might be not as many blue circle, like a lot of point defenses. But still, when you're coming in from the left side, it's way easier, and still you dodge a lot of those defenses due to the range. You guys can see in the background the range of the warden. He will probably not hit my queen, or only one or 2 times. So If you're trying to do, for example, queen charge Lalo attacks, one thing you have to look out for as well are, for example, the air defenses. So that was what I'm talking about, kind of the tier lists when you're looking at stuff, and it's always strategy dependent. For example, when you try to queen charge Lalo, you try to take out at least 1 or 2 air defenses normally, and you try to create a really nice pathing for your hounds, for example, or like your Lalo part, for example, like this. If you take the same entry as I would do with the queen charge hawk rider attack, because normal the value is pretty much the same, like the high value defenses like queen, eagle. You don't really need the king, obviously, with Lalo, but still, except that the value is pretty much like the defenses you try to aim for is pretty much the same. So this would be kind of the case when you're doing a queen charge Lalo, but we try to take a look at the queen charge hawk rider attack. Like I said, I try to get inside of the base with, well, what should I choose? The first thing that comes in mind when you're doing a queen charge hawk rider attack is that you're using the ram to get inside. In Poland, for example, we saw many times, especially from MCES, that they use wall breakers instead of the ram and use the slammer backend. I don't really prefer that on this base because there are too many air defense on the backside, so I don't think that the value is too good, but let's see. The entry would be that I drop the queen in front of the elixir storage, let her walk down to the air defense. Meanwhile, I wouldn't funnel at the top side because there's like a gap where the queen shouldn't go. And then I try to get inside of the base. Super important is that I get this section between the town hall compartment and the multi-mortar compartment behind. And I think this is the best with the ram. Once again, I'm showing why I think it's not the best to have a slammer on this base, because the air defenses are really far spread out, so it's super hard to get any value with the slammer. So I don't think that it's really good to take wall breakers instead of the wall wrecker, because when I take the wall wrecker, I can normally save 1 to 2 race spells, which is always nice. So like I said, we have to get through this wall to make sure that we can enter the multi-mortar compartment to get the eagle, enemy queen, and the sweeper inside of the base as well. You might ask, why the heck is he going for the sweepers even though he's doing a hawk rider attack? The reason is pretty simple. It's all about the pathing. As soon as the sweepers are gone, my hawks have a pretty nice way through the base. If they're not gone, there are 2 more defenses or like 2 more steps my hawk riders have to go to. So I would start off with the hawk riders from the left side and walk them around. This would be the army to go in. I have a lot of hawk riders because I don't have any funnel pretty much, except my king. So I don't need a P.E.K.K.A, which is usually the case when you're trying to go for the funnel, because I'm kind of risking it to not funnel on the left side. I think normally if the war is really important or something like that, I don't think that I would risk it. But on this one, I guess let's just try it. I'm using dragons because there's no air defense around the town hall. And at the same time, if my healers would switch and the town is activated, this attack is over. So I have to bring dragons in the CC. It's all about the tankiness kind of behind the air defense. So we'll start off with the queen. Right behind that, the healers, and obviously a coconut loon, because otherwise we lose a healer early. Healers right behind. We didn't lose any HP of our queen, so the timing was really nice. Then we start off with our king. And like I said, on the left side, we won't funnel. We will just risk it. I think it should be fine. So let's see how the queen is going. Then as soon as my queen is going to the air defense, we drop off the ram. 1 tile off, I think, but at the same time was like too concerned about whether the queen is actually like, or like the ram is actually getting the wall in between the town hall and the other compartment open. So far everything's looking good. We even got a black mine with our coconut loon, so that was really clutch as well. Poison and the rage, that's how we go. And then the classic minion in behind. We start off with our queen going even deeper inside. The dragons are still alive, so they're doing a great job of tanking the expos and the archer tower, so it's not too much damage on our queen. We don't really have to use another rage yet. Pretty soon, here we go. And we used Wizard just to make sure that our queen is actually going inside. I hope you guys noticed that, to get rid of the enemy king altar. So let's get with the hawks going. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds, which is like a ton, so we shouldn't be in any danger. We come up on the outside with a couple of more hawk riders, so everything should look good. our queen is still under fire of the ground expo. That should be... Wait! Why the freaking heck is out? Like, why would the hero switch? There's no... like, what? The queen wasn't even full health. Okay, well, I don't know what happened there, but I still hope that this is going to be enough. We lose a couple of Hawkers to string traps, still have one heal spell left for the last Inferno Tower. And I think even though the healers did, I don't know why they switched, but hey, I guess it's still okay. So yeah, the queen was normally supposed to take out the backend as well, like with the rage, but I guess we don't need it. I think this is a huge overkill. We still have the one loon left to place wherever you want him to go. And that's basically it. 3 stars, and this is how you guys use Queen Charge Hawk Riders. And we'll go through the attack one more time and try to look at what went good, what went bad, what could be improved, or like what could be done different. Once again, I think we could have done the same attack pretty much with Warbreakers as well. Instead of using Warbreakers, we used the Ram. I still think that this is good. We kind of used this small gap. It was, like I said, really risky. I wouldn't do this in a normal attack. I think I would have just used the P.E.K.K.A. just to be sure. And in the end, there was even a Tesla, so it was super close. Like, in between the 2 gold mines, there was a Tesla. So that was a close call, but luckily it worked. So that was nice. The king itself did a really nice job taking out the enemy king, so we didn't need to rage or any other spells for this. And like I said, the ramp could be 1 tile down, but like it was too risky to only get this town hall compartment open, so that was not the best. And yeah, we got the right compartment open. Our queen is going inside. Our king, meanwhile, is going on the outside. There are no giant bombs, which is kind of random because normally you have giant bombs outside of the wall in front of the king, because normally it's kind of usual that you're taking out king for king. So this was the Hawk Rider pathing, but if you wouldn't have opened the compartment, we would have had these sweepers still standing, and the Hawk Riders could have kind of split to the bomb tower, which would have sucked kind of. We used the wizard as well to make sure that our queen is staying inside and not going onto the outside into the big compartment. So we could take out the enemy queen, and as soon as the queen was down, we started with our Hawk Riders just to make sure that we split damage, because right now 2 expos, the warden was shooting at our queen. So if we are sending in the hawks, well, the defenses can only shoot 1 of the targets, so that's always nice if you can spread out the damage. I still don't know why the heck the heroes switched over there, but in the end was okay, so I don't blame them too much. But still, it was a bit confusing. The rage, the rage was normally supposed to go for the queen to take out the bomb and the expo, a bomb tower and the expo. But well, I guess I don't know. See, it worked, so like I said, I'm okay with that. The last heal spell perfectly placed on the Inferno Tower with covering the bomb, with covering the expo and the cannon. And yeah, that's basically it for this attack. So like I said, let me guys know what you guys would like to see next. I'm pretty much showing most of the time Queen Charge Hawk Rider's attack just because, like I said in the beginning, it's my personal favorite. On my personal ranking, it's really high up there. Normally, I use a couple of like Queen Charge minor attacks as well. So let me guys know what you guys want to see next, what I should do next with this analyzing system, I would say, so I can show you like the priorities for which strategy are out there. And let me know if you guys like this format of explaining and doing after that the attack. I will see you guys in the next video, and like I said, I hope you guys like the format. See you guys next time.